Okay, Saturday, 21st of February 2026. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Red herrings and disinformation. So this is something very interesting, a bit pernicious that I've subtly noticed that's quite plausible, but I have no evidence to or fro, but just something I realised. There's a logical fallacy called a red herring, which is essentially a distraction. So there'll be a conversation or a line of argument or in general topic, but there will be a red herring that will take you over there and distract you from the main point. I mean, the red herring being named after hunting, where people will have red herrings, or poachers or hunters, or put red herrings to distract dogs and being tracked, something like that, so as to be distracted. So then I realised that, hang on a minute, there was an interesting article about 3 weeks ago now, 4 or 5 weeks ago, that was a bit unusual with regards to its tone. And I thought, this is a one big distraction, this whole concept, this whole story. It's attaching onto an emotional argument, and it's completely ignoring the logical details behind it. The story is irrelevant for this video. And it was a small snippet from a good hour-long or so video that the critical mass of people out here will probably never see or would have not seen at the time. And I thought, this is totally blown out of proportion, arguably. And I thought, this is probably a red herring, probably, in terms of a BS detection. This is a red herring. This is a distraction from something, or fanning the flames of something over here, or enraging over there, rage baiting in some fashion. And I thought, this is the red herring. Okay, interesting. Now, there's someone else I know who spends a lot of time elsewhere in certain people, societies, etc. And I thought, this person is overly focused on that and nothing else with his life, nothing else in terms of priorities or goals and whatever else. I'm thinking almost he's wasting his time. Okay. But I thought in both of these situations, behind the scenes, that the meta strategy at play would be, there is, at a deeper level, government disinformation. Oh, interesting. Meaning there are agencies and people out there who are sowing the seeds of division and disinformation on purpose for political or social end in some fashion. Now, no evidence, whatever else, but that's what the logic points to. Meaning, why was this so pulled and pushed even, and from an emotional angle to enrage people in some fashion? And the target was quite prominent. I thought, that's interesting, that's funny, The incentives don't line up there. And over here, I'm thinking, well, this person is spending a lot of time elsewhere online. Why is that? Because in both situations behind the scenes, there'll be people pushing disinformation and narratives and red herrings to be distracted over there, distracted over here, distracted over here. Now, why is any particular reason? Division, content, you name it, or pushing an agenda in some fashion, by all means. But we can go deeper, and the point of the video is, we have to consider at any one time, to what extent, if at all, are we being misled? That's the meta strategy at play to be aware of here. To what extent am I being misled? To what extent am I being led astray by a red herring? To what extent am I being, to put it bluntly, a useful idiot? Ooh, to what extent? And notice, it's not a binary question there, yes or no, but to what extent? 0, 1%, 5%, 99%, to what extent? Has that built-in assumption there, well, 99% by definition, meaning assuming that there is some disinformation right there. Because then we go at a deeper level, to go even deeper to say, there are all kinds of, to put it bluntly, propaganda, whether social or socially reinforced or cultural or whatever else, not just pernicious propaganda, but just socially reinforced ideas that are holding us back, that could be classed as disinformation, which is inadvertently also holding us back in some fashion. Wow. That's somewhat adversarial in nature, but nonetheless very, very astute. Meaning, again, to what extent am I being misled? Socially, culturally, politically, economically, you name it. Or what's got warped or perverse incentives, that is, these things, these systems, institutions, you name it, that are affecting me. And that's very, very critical in a sense of understanding what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, because we want to do the right thing, not the right moral thing, but the right, in a sense of efficient, being pragmatic, things like that. That's what we're going at deeper. That's what we're talking about at a deeper level here. Or to put it in a more simpler way, how are we being brainwashed? Ooh, interesting. Very, very interesting. How are we being misled, led astray, distracted? Micro-signal warfare. What's not being said? What is being said? Or even at another level, we could say everything's a proxy. This article's a proxy for this movement or this idea or this society, you name it, this whatever. And this idea is a proxy for that kind of thing over here, over there, and this department or this culture or this lobby group, etc., etc., etc. The chain of consequences could be quite immeasurable. So, okay, fair enough. But bringing it back, to what extent are we being disinformed or are we being distracted by red herrings? Wow. Very recursive, very introspective, but very poignant and important to ask, important to do self-reflection. Because at an even deeper level, we could say, how often and how intensively are you doing introspection, flushing away bad ideas, reviewing what you believe, reviewing, is this the best thing? Not doubting yourself, but just refining your opinions, refining your strategies, refining your beliefs, refining what you hold to be true at a deeper level. Just refine. Very important, yes. Very poignant, very, very powerful. Flushing away the bad ideas, yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.